everybody. Good to be back in the saddle. You're listening to the Jim and Peter Show. I'm Peter G. Sad to say that I'm by myself tonight. Glad to say that I'm here, but again, we're no different than you guys. I've had my certain little drawbacks over the past month of October, and scheduling and this and that, and Jim, we just couldn't get it together, and I said, you know what? Show must go on. We will not do these shows, whether it's by myself or with him or whatever. We're doing all kinds of stuff. 2017 is going to be an amazing year. Looking forward to that. We're throwing a whole bunch more stuff at you and seeing what sticks. Bringing in a whole lot of different people. It's going to be funny. It's going to be very informative. It's going to be sad. It's going to be all the above. But anyway, it's going to be. And I'm looking forward to it. So, real quick, and I'm not going to be all by myself tonight. I promise I won't put you through that torture. But I had, a little drawback, as many of you might know. I had the misfortune of losing my mother back in mid-October. Tough deal. For those of you who've been through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for those of you who don't, you think you know what you're doing, you think you know what you're going to go through, but it just, surreal is the word. I loved my mother. I have an old father, 90 years old, and my mother was 93, and I'm very, very thankful. I guess you've heard my rants. Excuse me. But tough. It was hard. My little girl, I made her brave through it. I didn't make her, but I reasoned with her. She's 10 years old, didn't want to do it. Come fly back to Florida to go through all that stuff. But I truly believe that that is something she will carry with her and with no regrets, even though it's going to stick with her for a very long time, if not forever. Certain things like that did for me when I was a child, but it's good stuff. It's part of parenting, people, part of upbringing, doing what's right, teaching them what's right, and that's it. And that way, you hope you do the best you can, and your kids, have somewhat of a sensibility to them, and life goes on, regardless of the wreck of things that are going on around you. You have to still keep a grip. And that's why with even with this show, between scheduling and, confrontations and, personal life problems, I got problems, Jim's got problems. I mean, you got problems, everybody's got problems. But you can't stop trying to move forward. And if you don't recognize your problems and you just keep thinking that life is going to take care of itself, you're in for a sad surprise, because you're just prolonging the pain, which will probably escalate into more, which you'll hear in the future from professionals, not just me. I am far from a professional, but sometimes, a little common sense is pretty good, but you don't want to listen to things. You don't want to listen to yourself, or you don't hear yourself. And then friends tell you things, and it's like, oh, yeah, you're just you. What do you know? Well, I know a little. Anyway, that was where it's at. I'm flying back and forth to Florida right now, still dealing with things. We were talking about doing a Thanksgiving show and about exchanging for the holidays. We may get it out, we may not. Right now, it's going to be a tough one. I'm back and forth like a yo-yo, and because I have to. Family issues, it's responsibility. So, but I did want to put this show out, and that was another reason why I did not want to let this day go by, despite the fact that we could not get together. I can handle it, because the beauty of it is I have a special friend that's going to come on, going to make a phone call across the country. We're going to do a little phone interview, but this is going to be an interesting story. You won't have to listen to me all night or all day or whenever you're listening to us on demand. And again, thank you guys, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes. I can't tell you enough. I appreciate it, but make sure you get people to share the stories, the shows every week. The shares is what spreads it to the people who may need it. So please do it, all right? That's all I ask of you guys. The likes are cool. Love the likes, but the shares really make the difference, because we need to spread the word. I am not going to let anything stop us do this show. Regardless, I will keep putting this show out because it's a passion. I feel there's a reason for this, and I can't make us crack up laughing all the time, although we're really shooting for more of that to have fun and things like that. But there's a lot of people who need somebody to lean on, and I'm hoping you guys get it enough to where even if it's not your cup of tea, but you'll share it, because there's tons of people out there that are so friggin' confused, and they're slowly just burying themselves, and their kids are suffering, and that's what we're all about. So anyway, that's basically it. We appreciate it. Again, the Facebook stuff is great. I went to a little battle with Facebook on my name as a co-host. They were, after a year, questioning me for being Peter G. co-host of the Jim and Peter Show. And I said, I don't understand what I've done wrong, but you can't talk to them. All they are robotic computer, things that are putting out phrasing and telling me that I need to show ID of who the hell I am. It's like, okay, so I did it. So you're going to see my name switch around from Peter G to Peter Gisellas to Peter, they can't get it right. And I about gave up. I'm not going to leave them, although I'd love to. One day we'll go to television. But right now, that's our, one of our main delivery systems that you got to start somewhere. So it's been an ongoing battle. And anybody who has had to battle with Facebook, there's no winning. It just is what it is. And, I'll deal with it. It's not a big deal. I just kind of, would love to have a little bit of choice in my name calling. And I get called all kinds of names, too. So, okay. Without further ado, Pat McDonald, are you on the line?
I am here.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
We don't get to talk very much, do we?
Not much.
But we follow each other.
As many years as we've known each other.
We
don't talk much.
We're all running in different circles. But here's the thing, and we're gonna start because again, your story, your story was just different with me. It's always held a very good, fond spot in my heart. But and we're gonna get to that. But that's the whole thing. You're off doing your thing. I was doing my thing. Had no idea that you got involved and were doing other things, children or this and that. Had no idea up until about, 5-6 years ago? Facebook. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat McDonald. Hey, did I hear right? Are you nominated for Best Country Drummer in Modern Drummer Magazine?
Yeah. I actually just, Jim Beyer, who makes Beyer snare drums, is a really good friend of mine.
Yes.
And about 4 or 5 days ago, I woke up and he sent me an email and he was like, congratulations on what? And he sent me a picture of it. And I guess he got the issue before I got it. But yes, along with some of my buddies in Nashville, Jim Riley, who plays with Rascal Flatts, Rich Redmond, who plays with Jason Aldean, Ben Caesar, who plays with Brad Paisley. All three of those guys, we're all really good friends. We've known each other for years. And then Garrett Goodwin, who is, I think, is Carrie Underwood's drummer, although I may have met him briefly, but I don't really know him. But Jim and Rich and Ben and I are longtime friends. Well, so we're all kind of, it's a mutual admiration thing. It's cool. We're all in it.
I get it. But congratulations to you because growing up as a kid and Modern Drummer Magazine, that's like Guitar Player Magazine. That's all you wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they did an article on me this past year.
Yes.
And then that's probably why the nomination came, because I was one of the few country guys they covered.
Well,
but still, I'm flattered.
Absolutely.
The nomination almost is cooler to me than being in the magazine.
Dude,
I'm like, just getting in the magazine was cool, but this is like, really?
No.
I don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning it, but
it doesn't matter.
Those guys, they work their thing pretty hard, but
well deserved. Yeah. You're a phenomenal drummer. Let me back it up again, folks. Pat played. How many years were you with Charlie Daniels?
17.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I'm thinking like 10. I don't know.
10 years just went by like in nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
I was there for 17 years.
Okay, 17 friggin' years playing for Charlie Daniels. And let me tell you something, because again, and we're gonna back it up. You're not just a boom chicka boom drummer. I was shocked the day that I got to see you because they let you cut loose, and you are above the average. Live drumming is that if you can cut loose and they'll let you cut loose, God bless you. But you're a phenomenal drummer, and again, that's why I say to make that magazine even as a nomination, God bless you.
Yeah.
We're gonna back it.
Thank you. I'm really, really flattered. It's been a crazy year.
So
oddly enough, the irony of it is I got nominated in a category that I'm really not in anymore.
Right, because now, see, here's the thing. I've been trying to get you on the show, talking to you about this show for about a year, and I couldn't get there yet. I just couldn't get there. And now you left Charlie Daniels, and we're going to get to that in a little while. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's back it up, because I want to let you know that your story for me just is when I met you back in, I don't know, what, 2000, 2001 again, prior to my remembering, Trey Chamberlain, our old sound engineer, mutual sound engineer, mine first, then he mutated over to Charlie Daniels and all that. When he introduced, do you remember this story at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, because when he introduced me to you, I had bleach white, Billy Idol white hair, and he says, Pat, this is Peter G. And he goes, yeah, I know you. And I said, no, you don't, because I would remember. And he goes, no, I know you. He says, you're left-handed. And I go, okay, okay, but I still said, listen, I had just bleached my hair out, went for this total different look, and you said you're left-handed, and cymbals, and that was what really nailed it, because you said you play a 20-inch Paiste power ride, which is like running on the most odd tire of a car that you can imagine, but a good tire. And then I knew you knew me, but we never could pin it down to where you met me prior in the 80s or early 90s, right?
I think it was the 80s. I'm pretty sure, because for some reason I remember seeing you. Did you play Marker 34 in Titusville?
No. Thank God. No, I don't know. I don't know. See, that's the thing. We still don't know where the hell we met.
Yeah,
but
I just remember seeing you somewhere, and it seems like that was where it was.
You said
maybe not.
You said not only did we see each other, we talked, and I remember a lot of people. I'm pretty good about that.
Oh yeah,
but
we did.
To this day, brother, I'm sorry. I don't. And it's been killing me. But here's the thing. So that night went on, and then Trey mixed, and I was watching your show because I didn't know what to expect. Never been to a Charlie Daniels show. And here's you up there, and they let you cut loose, and you're really good at that. I mean, you're a good drummer. You know it, and I know it. And after I'm sitting there with my hand under my chin, and I said, and I'm listening to you, because at that time I was doing a lot more studio work and playing for a lot of people that they just want feel. They want the pocket. They don't want flash. And so I'm losing my live chops, and I'm watching you. I'm going, God bless it, man. This freaking guy's good. And so at the end of the night, when Trey and I were going to go to dinner or whatever the hell we were going to go do after the show, I come back there to say goodbye to you, and I said, man, you're really good. And you looked at me and you said, I appreciate it, but I got to tell you, I was a little nervous because I knew you were out there, and that floored me. It friggin' floored me. I've never forgotten it, and I love you to death, because that's probably the highest compliment I've ever been paid. Really?
Yep.
Really? Because you know how it is. I mean,
I remember it.
There's a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of good drummers out there. And that really floored me. I never forgot it. And I didn't talk to you for years after, until our mutual friend passed away from ALS, he was cut short way too soon. Trey was.
Yep.
And through Facebook, I just said to myself, I wonder if he knows, because, he was part of that family for a while with the whole Charlie Daniels band and all that. And then he went back to Skinnerd, and Trey cut his teeth on us when I was, touring as a regional act. I mean, that's when he learned how to really start kicking ass. And so I looked you up on Facebook, and I left you a message, and it took a long time before you finally chimed in, and then there you were, and we kind of reunited, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, after that, I come to find out, our lives are changing. I went and got married. You have a baby, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I mean, you had a baby back then.
Not a baby anymore. But
no. But you know what I'm saying? All that time went by. You don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing. And all of a sudden, you got a little girl. And you adore her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
more than anything in the world.
So I'm watching you like a hawk, because in the meantime, I'm going through the divorce of my life that I've never imagined, and the hell that I've never thought I'd go through, and it was killing me. Because I walked away, I stopped doing everything. I stopped music, because the only way to make a living in music now is touring, if you can. Playing locally is $100, $150.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm watching you on Facebook. Now we're Facebook friends. I'm watching your daughter. I'm going, okay, I'm putting this together, but it doesn't seem like you're married. Correct?
No, I'm not.
So this is where we start. I picked it up, never did ask you what the deal was, but today I'm going to ask you. What's the deal? What's the deal? How did it go? Where did it start from? Girlfriend? Oops.
The marriage, you mean?
You got married?
Oh, yeah, we were married.
I had no idea.
I'm not married now.
No, but we had no time.
Oh, yeah.
All I know is you got a little girl named Doodlebug, and I know that's not her name.
Yeah. No, her name is Lily.
Okay. How old is she now?
But that's what I call her.
How old is she now?
She's 9.
Okay. Anna's 10, you know?
Okay.
And so I've been watching carefully because, believe me, I know the change that happens. That's why I'm doing this show.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you got married. When did you get married?
2013. It was so. It came and went so fast I don't even remember. 2013.
How do you do that? Were you dating?
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the abbreviated version.
I got time.
I dated her for 4 years. Okay. I met her actually down here in Florida.
Okay.
I decided I was going to move to Florida or move to Nashville in '97.
Right.
And basically, she followed me up there.
Cool.
And we dated for about 4 years.
Okay.
And, you know, whatever, it was what it was. And eventually she decided to split.
Right.
So she did. And then moved back to Florida.
Right.
I, in the meantime, met someone else, got engaged for the first time. We were never engaged. My ex and I were never engaged.
Right.
I got engaged for the first time and was going through my last health thing with the cancer thing in 2007.
I missed that too.
Yeah, I've had lymphoma 3 times.
Well, you're a winner then.
I had it at 83 when I was 17, in 85, and then I was cancer free for 21 years, and then it came back on me in 2007.
Well, I'm still talking to you. So
that throws a monkey. You know, when you're 19 and you get it, you're bulletproof, and you think the world's never going to, you're just going to go get through it.
Right.
Well, when I got it when I was 41, 42, a little bit more like mortality side of it kind of snuck in, and I was like, "Wow, man! You know, I'm really lucky that I'm still here, and maybe I should start thinking about, doing things differently and whatever."
Okay.
So I ended up with this girl, and the whole point was for us to we were going to get married, and I was going to quit the road, and I was going to do this stuff, and I guess I just wasn't ready to do it.
Right.
And the engagement fell apart because she wanted
home
what I had signed up for, and I just really wasn't ready to. I was trying to juggle both, and it just wasn't working.
Okay.
So we split. Well, in the meantime, my ex had moved back to Florida, and she ended up getting pregnant by a guy that she worked with.
Okay.
And I heard about it. I knew, I was still in distant contact with her. We were still friendly, but we didn't talk much. And she told me about it. And so one thing led to another, and we met again. And I don't know how many people are going to, well, I've told her this story. I've told everyone this story, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But she had a lot of issues when we were together, and she wanted to get married and have kids. And I was kind of, at that point, like, no way. Right. She was a mess.
Yes.
The last person in the world needs to have a kid.
Shocking.
Right. So I pretty much just had, resigned myself to that. Was over. It was done. I was fine. 4 years went by. She was on her own. I found somebody else. I was all good. And when she told me she was pregnant, my first thought was, God, that poor kid, but then I ended up meeting her back down in Florida. We ran into each other somewhere, and we rekindled. And I saw her with the baby. She'd had the baby by then. It was about, Lily was maybe not quite 2.
Okay.
And I saw her. She was an incredible mother. and really had it together and really was just doing everything that I really honestly thought there's no way in hell she's going to be able to do this.
Right.
And she did. And maybe that's what made me fall back in love with her. I don't know. But I was fooled. I'll put it to you that way.
Look, we've all been there, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I took the bait. Well, I ended up getting back together with her, and then we decided to get married. And we had to get married in retrospect now, I look back at it, it wasn't so much about that relationship. It was about Lily, because I fell madly head over heels in love with Lily.
Okay.
And I think that's probably what did it. So we got married.
Wait a minute. Where's the baby's daddy?
He is still down here, but he's not involved.
That's okay.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
So we got back together. We got married so that we could put the wheels in motion so that I could adopt Lily.
Uh-huh.
And we did, and I adopted her. So she is legally my daughter. I adopted her, and that's it. Nobody's ever going to take that from me. Sorry.
Right. That's all she knows anyway.
Yeah. So then once we were married, then I realized that the monsters didn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
They just went in another room and hid for a while and got stronger. And when they came back out, it was worse. But at that point, I was like, man, I've signed up for this, and I've signed on to be this child's father,
right.
and I can't just go, wait, do over.
Yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. This isn't fun
so
anymore.
I tried everything I could do, and she just didn't, I guess, just didn't want it.
Yep.
Whatever. But after multiple bouts of infidelity, multiple times of trying to go to therapy and whatever, and the masterful manipulation of someone who has serious narcissistic issues besides other stuff.
Right.
Pointing everything at me, like I'm the reason why things are shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, what'd I do? Well, okay, we'll work on it. I'll try to figure it out.
You were still touring, correct?
Because I was, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So eventually we decided to get divorced.
Okay.
And I filed, and then she moved back to Florida. And we had plans to move back to Florida anyway. I was going to quit the road and come back down here. We were going to just do a family thing down here.
Yep.
Well, her parents, who understood the imbalance, said, look, you guys are planning to move here. We got to get her out of there. Just let her come down here. We'll take care of Lily. We promise you. And you can, tie up your loose ends, and then you can get down here and whatever. So I was like, all right. I took them on their word. And of course, it didn't take very long for her to convince them that I was the bad guy. And so now I'm persona non grata in the whole family, but it doesn't really bother me. I don't care. But,
gotcha.
But that whole thing, over that time I was still touring, but I was having to exercise my visitation
right
on my own dime. When I had time off, I would get back to Nashville off the bus.
Yep.
And,
haul ass.
Go to have one of the guys drop me at the airport, and I'd fly down here for 3 days, and then I'd visit with Lily, and then I'd go back and get on the bus.
Question for you.
And I spent
Wait.
thousands of dollars.
There you go. There you go. On traveling or court? Or both?
No, it was more traveling. The court was expensive, but that was more like a one-time thing. The traveling was far, far more expensive.
All right, then you're lucky. Oh, well, yeah, because distance is a problem. But the thing is, normally, from distance comes complications. He's not here.
Yeah.
And I want child support and blah blah blah.
Yeah. The positive in it is that she, her family's doesn't have, bottomless pockets.
Okay.
And I certainly don't. So with her being down here, anything that she wanted to, the divorce was in Tennessee, she was in Florida. Anything that she wanted to file or whatever would have had to have been filed in Tennessee because it was under Tennessee jurisdiction.
Really?
So that precluded her from being able to just go down to the courthouse and file another stupid motion.
Okay.
She would have to go all the way to Nashville, and so that cost too much for her. So once we were separate, she was down here. I still had a house in Nashville, it was financially, it kind of kept the heat down and it didn't boil over.
You're a lucky man.
But I was still having to pay to go back and forth.
I get it.
So the money, I was just paying.
Listen,
I was paying the airlines instead of paying the court.
I know, but when you're paying the court, you're paying mentally too, because you're having strangers judge your life in 30 minutes, and it can kill you.
Yep.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
It can go both ways. It can go either way. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm learning,
folks.
I'm learning this right when you are, because Pat and I have not spoken. I've just watched him adore his child through Facebooks and this and that. But we're getting down to the nitty gritty, because bottom line is, I don't care who the hell you are or what you do, the same stories go for everybody, and this is what we're talking about. And so, okay, so you went through all that, and then
eventually, I sold my house, knowing that Charlie's thing. He just turned 80 years old last week.
Right.
Okay. I knew that. I mean, in terms of long-term employment,
sure,
another 10 or 15 years, or until Lily's grown.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
He's doing good for his age, but
he's going to. Oh yeah, he's still doing great. He's still working hard.
Is it just?
And I know him and I love him. He's a great guy, and I know that. I think performing is like oxygen for him. Sure. He just feels like as long as I just keep going, then if I stop, then death can get a hold of me, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going.
Is he just doing summers
now? He's going to go
now?
until he can.
How many days out of the year do you think he's out?
They're doing upwards of probably 115, 120 days a year.
Really? Okay. Okay,
yeah,
because know everybody gets to a point where it's the summer, the summer gigs. Pat Benatar, as you go to the sheds and all that kind of stuff.
No.
Okay.
No, he's been doing. He's been most of the time they start about mid-March and go through right before Christmas.
Good. Okay.
Mid-December.
Yeah, 80's not so bad if you're in decent health, but when you start hitting 85 and all that, things change. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it, and the thing that made me do it, besides the fact that I knew that I was going to move down here, and I needed a place here, and I would rather have a place here because this is where I was ultimately going to end up, than keep my place in Nashville.
Okay.
And the Nashville market was hot. Everybody's moving to Nashville because it's the hot, new, trendy place to go.
Yes.
You're welcome to it. I did my time there. I don't miss it a bit. But so I sold my house, and it sold in 24 hours. For asking price plus.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantasy
so
land.
I immediately, I came down here and bought a place here.
Okay.
So what I did the last year, you'll get a kick out of this. The last year I was in Nashville, there were times when I would get in off the road. Let's say we get in on a Sunday, and I didn't have anything to do until Tuesday night, where we had to go play the Opry. Right. And the bus didn't leave again until Wednesday night. So I didn't leave me enough time to fly home to see Lily for a day, then fly back into the Opry, then come back and fly. I couldn't afford to do that. So I had to stay in Nashville.
Right.
The way that I did it, rather than spending money on hotels, a friend of mine runs a motorcycle trailer rental business. And he's a real good friend of mine. He sold me a 6x12 motorcycle trailer, and I converted it to a little mobile home.
A motorcycle trailer?
And a motorcycle
What does that look like?
It's just a white. It looks like a utility trailer.
Okay.
And I mounted an air conditioner in it, and I put carpet in it, and a bed and lights. And I booked campsites at campgrounds in Nashville. You can stay at a campground with a full plug-in. There's a shower.
Right.
You got all your power, whatever. I booked those on the road. I knew I was going to be in. I needed Sunday and Monday night. I booked one, and there were $20 a night.
Yes.
Pack the trailer into the campsite, plug it in. I had a place to sleep. I had a shower. I had a bathroom.
Right.
So I was fine. So I did that for a summer.
Okay.
I lived in a trailer.
In
a motorcycle trailer. Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, they're nice, like
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay. But it was still,
yeah.
I did that so that I could afford to fly back and forth because I didn't have the money to keep a house in Nashville and have one in Florida.
You mean you weren't one of them fancy show people?
No, I ain't have one of them. Not of them. Not one of them.
All right.
But anyway, so eventually it got to the point where I just came to the realization that being part of her life and not just being daddy that comes in when he's not on the road just for a couple days here and a couple days there and see her 3 or 4 days a month.
Yes.
But actually being actively here is more important than anything else. I did the gig. The gig was fun. The business is different.
Yep.
I don't have any crazy notions that just one more gig and maybe Sting will happen to show up and take me away from all this.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Not anymore.
And those gigs are gone anyway. There is no giant Madonna, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie kind of world. Those gigs just aren't there.
Yep.
They're just not.
I know.
When we were kids and we grew up, we all dreamed about getting a gig with Michael Jackson because we knew it was going to be a ton of money and would be, it'd be first class everything and whatever.
Friggin' roadies were buying houses.
Right. Yeah. It just doesn't. That just doesn't happen.
No, the business is
the only way in the business that you can make that kind of money. Your name has to be on the ticket, and your face has to be on the T-shirt. If you're a sideman, you don't make that money. Everybody thinks if they see you on TV playing with some iconic star, they think that gig comes with a 7-figure check and a beautiful home, and you're set for life. That is not the case.
Well, don't get me wrong.
Most people that work,
there's people,
at Verizon make as much money as I was making.
Yeah, but they rather have your gig. You know what I mean?
Well, of course they would.
It's hard work.
And I get that.
Right, it's hard work.
But the gig was really easy.
No.
But it was not I was not making near what everybody thinks.
I get it, but I get it. But I got friends. I got a buddy of mine who plays with Elton John. He's got the choicest gig in the world. Period. End of story. So long as Elton John is working, we're good to go. But not everybody has those gigs. And yes, you're doing something that's, people love music. That was the beauty of it. People loved it. They're happy to see you, and you're all over, and you find the super fans and all that. But at the end of the day, if you stopped working, can you live off what you got? No.
Yeah.
You're doing, you can't unless you've made some super huge investments that you just got lucky on. Yeah. But you're doing a better gig, playing music. I can think of worse ways to make a living, but the traveling's traveling's grueling.
It's a great way to make a living. Yeah. By no means do I regret doing it. But for the sake of my daughter, I was not scared to walk away from it.
Absolutely.
And go back to the regular world and do a 9 to 5, which is what I'm doing now.
Okay, so now you're home because believe me, I totally get it. I stopped everything because my ex drove me nuts. It was all over custody. I was given 50-50 and she wasn't having it. So I know, I feel you. To me, I was not going to be the guy who writes a check and is gone. Just as you, this is how you hit me, I've been waiting a year and a half to get to this. So you finally said, I want to be there to do her homework. I want to be there to take her to school. I want to be there, period, which she needs.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Super huge points, brother. I mean, because again,
that's what I did.
I know. And then when I called you today and I had no idea, I go, if you move down to South Florida, how the hell are you going to live? You're probably playing on the side a little bit, but work,
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm never going to quit playing.
Well, I did.
I couldn't.
I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I got sucked up into a job that is sucking the life out of me. I didn't have time to play. You know what I mean? I'd have to go to Florida to go play. And sad.
Well, I mean, I'm very fortunate in that at this point, I have a longtime friend down here I've known for years, and he has a very successful business. And I talked to him last year and said, "Hey, I'm going to be moving down here, and I need a job." And he said, "Well, I've got a spot. If you want it, you can have it." And he worked with me through the first of the year when Charlie started working again. I had made the decision over the winter. We always take the winter off. I made the decision that I was going to leave.
Right.
But I couldn't call Charlie on the phone and say, "Hey, thanks for everything, but I'm not coming back."
I know, it's a lot of years.
Yeah. So what I did was I went back out for February, March, and April.
Right.
And I told him as soon as we were out there, I told him that I was going to leave. And he said he totally understands. He was like, if family comes first,
he's a family man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, I hate to see you go, but I totally understand that, And he basically just said, "Can you at least do me the favor of staying until I get a guy?"
Did you find the guy?
And I said, "Absolutely." Yeah, they found. Yeah, I mean, it was a guy that one of several names came up, but he was on the list, and he ended up getting the gig.
Right.
But when they hired him, when Charlie said, "I'm going to go with that guy," it was like, okay, now. And that was about mid-April, where he called him and said, "You got the gig." And I told Charlie, I said, "Okay, well, then I'll play out until the end of April because there's a little break in the schedule. They have time to rehearse and get him worked in and whatever." And I said, I'll play out to the end of April and then just hand it over to him. And that was perfect. Mm-hmm. So at the end of April, I put all my stuff in my trailer, unloaded the bus, put everything in my trailer, and hauled my butt down to Florida, and I've been here ever since.
Mm-mm-mm. Props.
So
Major. Let me tell you something. You did something most guys would not do because it's me. And you went because of that little girl, and I completely friggin' feel you. And this is why we do this show, because you're not a douchebag parent. You know what I mean? Money is great, but you went there to raise your little girl. And
that's absolutely the only reason, and that's all that mattered.
Well,
the rest of it, I looked at it, I had my fun. I got to go play rock star, but I knew, and maybe it was easy, but just because, or it was, the time was right because of the climate in the industry. I had seen The Man Behind the Curtain, and I knew how it worked, and I knew that thing that everybody hangs on to, just around the corner is my big break. That's where I'm really going to get to. It's crap. It's a parlor game. It's a joke. It doesn't work that way.
I get it.
And I had done it, and Lily was reaching an age where I realized I could stay with Charlie. I'd still be with him.
Yeah.
I could still be working with him because he doesn't like to make those kind of changes unless he has to. So I would still be out there. I absolutely could have played with him until his absolute last show.
Right.
But I don't know when that show's going to be.
No.
It could be, God forbid, something happens to him. He gets sick.
Right.
It could be next week.
Right.
It could be 2 years from now.
Right.
But I started looking at it and going, okay, do I have 6 months left on this gig? Do I have 6 years left on this gig? 6 weeks? I don't know. But if it's 6 years, Lily's going to be 14.
Right.
15. And I'm like, I can't miss that. It's critical time right now.
That's the formative years. You're in the formative years right now. She's a sponge. Right. She needs a daddy.
I need to be able to be there to provide balance because there's a good bit of imbalance.
Yeah.
And she's getting her head wrapped around the differences in the world, in her world.
Okay.
Part of the time she's with me. And when she's with me, it's calm and it's relaxed and there's no pressure and things get done. She gets her homework done and everybody laughs and everybody smiles and whatever. Mm-hmm. When she goes home to mom, it's a little more strict, very, very, a lot more strict. And that was one of the little arguing points that I had with her. It was like, look, it's not the end of the world. There's no point in her being. You don't need to go Nazi on her over something like this.
Okay.
I mean, that was it.
Is she a good mom or is she just crazy? Or over the top?
She is a good mother. I've always thought she's a good mother. She's done a great job. Lily is very, very, she's very smart.
Okay.
She's very respectful.
Good.
She's very outgoing, and she's done a good job.
Okay.
But there are also certain personal demons that are still in there, I think.
I get it.
That make sometimes Lily has that look of like, geez, come on. What else? What do you want me to do?
Is she balanced out between you two? Like some people say, she's a daddy's girl, she's a mommy's girl. Is she 50-50 or how's that working for her? How's her head?
Sometimes I wonder. I mean, her head is okay, but I can see the influence.
Because that's important. You don't want their head squished because of the stupid shit we do. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm trying to maintain as much neutrality in that as I can. I don't want to get in there and
Right.
stir up the pot
I know.
and create conflict for her.
Shit talk and all that.
All
kind
I'm
of
trying to
stuff.
do is just
Be your dad.
show her that no matter what, I'm here. When the seas get stormy and the wind's blowing and you don't know which way the ship's headed and you don't have a clue, the shore is right over here.
How far?
I've got solid ground.
How far apart do you
I'm
guys?
calm.
When she's with her mother, what's the distance between like mileage to go get her?
She's about she's 20 miles away.
Okay. And what?
Maybe.
How?
20.
What's the visitation? I mean, how often do you have her now that you're settled in and changed
Well,
your whole friggin' life?
I am here because I'm still in the process of transferring the divorce agreement and parenting plan to Florida jurisdiction.
Mhm.
So I'm still under the Tennessee agreement that we came to.
Which was?
And the Tennessee agreement was I get her 2 weeks out of each month,
Okay.
my choice, and I get her from Sunday until Thursday.
50-50.
No, not even close.
What, 2 weeks out of each month?
Because-
It's 4 weeks in a month.
Yeah, but some weeks have five, some have five. I get her 118 days a year. So it's not 50-50.
How does that work? Okay, there's a month where there's 5 weeks?
But it's not 2 weeks. I say two weeks on the calendar,
Mhm.
but I don't get the full week. I only get Sunday through Thursday.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's actually only Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, take her about Thursday. So it's maybe 4 days on the calendar. So I get her about 8 days a month.
Is the mother...
And I want 50-50.
I get it. But is the mother flexible, or is she saying by the book, like, screw you, this is the orders, that's that?
Right.
Really?
Right now, it depends on the phase of the moon.
Ugh.
It depends on which one of her woke up that morning.
Right. Sorry.
So I can't go into thinking, boy, I hope she's having an okay day and everything she'll be agreeable and everything's cool, because it's like two different. Well, it's several different people, I guess. But it's two different people. One day I call and it's like, hey, you want to pick Lily up early and you can keep her an extra day if you want. If she's got something she needs to do and she needs the time, absolutely, sure, I'll do it whenever.
Does she return the favor?
I say to her, hey, Lily and I want to take her to Busch Gardens, but we're not going to get back until Sunday night. Is that okay? Well, your agreement says Sunday, and that's all. It's that. You never know which one you're going to get.
Are you sure we didn't marry the same person?
Oh yeah, dude. Dude,
I hardly have any hair left
this
from this shit.
I know your show is mostly men listening.
No, it's not. No. See, that's
really?
I got a bigger woman audience, but let me tell you something, Pat. There's more. This is a show about parents who give a shit about their children, parents who care. If you don't care, you're a douchebag, and I'm not talking to you, and you won't like me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a lot of good women out there, and there's a lot of good men out there. This is for both, because it's hard, because there's a lot of bad women. There's women that have dumped the kids on the father and go, I got a new boyfriend. I'm out. Here you go. So... but it isn't.
I know.
See, it isn't about men. We actually, it's 67% women and 12%. 27% men. So we're good.
Well, then my mistake. I was thinking it was more of a guy's advocate thing.
We started bitching about it but it's about how the hell do you joke? Because here's the deal. Okay, you got your daughter, because I'm going through this, and my Jim again. Jim's not here today. Another one of those, situations. His situation has gotten worse instead of better. Mine has gotten better, but it started out to where you just want to kill everybody, and years of battling. So, but the thing is, I'm a different, I'm just different. I don't put up, homie, don't play that. You want to challenge me to be a dad? You're gonna fight me, because I don't quit. I'm a bad quitter. So the thing is, you got these women, and it is what it is. It's like, it's about people. How do you go to work? How do you pick up your kids? How do you get them to school? How do you get back from your job? Because and survive it. You know, so this is what it's about because you love your kids. You changed your frigging career. I stopped what little of a career I had because I saw the writing on the wall. Most everybody out of L.A. has been moving to Nashville, by the way, which is crazy because when I left Pensacola,
Oh, I know.
when I left Pensacola back in the 90s, they're going, why don't you go to Nashville, Bubba? There's a lot of music there. I'm going, because it's not the hub. That was, you know, and all of a sudden now Nashville is the hub. Harry McCarthy with Drum Paradise, God bless him. He's built an empire over there.
Yeah, I know Harry.
Yeah, I fucking love Harry. Oops, I just swore.
Yeah.
You know, but he started in L.A. and he went over there, and I go, man, they're going to be burning crosses in your yard. And he built up a business and took care of people that he's the bomb now. You know, for taking care of drummers.
Oh, he's great.
But that's the whole deal. And you changed your career. You stopped. You dead stopped because believe me, I dead stopped and I ran out of money in about 2 years of battling, sitting home, waiting to do my visitation. And that's the whole problem. It's like now, what do you do? And how do you juggle your daughter?
Well, I haven't figured that out yet. But I have a different philosophy on it. It is certainly hitting me in the pocketbook. But I got to consider the fact that it was going to hit me in the pocketbook anyway, because at some point Charlie's not going to be doing it. And the only reason I was getting paid is because there was an old guy who wanted to go out and soft fiddle every night.
Right.
And at some point that's going to go away. So it was a question of, do I stay on the train until it pulls into the station and potentially lose those formative years with Lily?
No.
Or do I just go ahead and hop off now and see which way the cards fall?
Are you doing the dishes?
And that's basically what I did. So, but I have a couple. My attitude towards money is way different than it used to be.
Yes.
It's just money. I've always been able to make it, and I'm a reasonably smart guy. And I may not make as much as I made before,
right.
But as long as I have enough to keep the mortgage paid and the electricity on and food on the table for my daughter, I don't care about anything else.
Your daughter...
I just don't care.
Your daughter is not judging you. She does not look at you for your money. She looks at you for your time.
As long as I'm giving her what she needs,
right,
then that's all I care about. That is absolutely the bottom line.
Absolutely.
And if that means that I've got to work extra hours to pay the bills, then I'll just have to figure it out. But for right now, I've got enough connections, and I know enough people, and I'm pretty confident in my ability. I'm a reasonably smart guy. I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm just saying, look.
Yeah, survival skills.
All you got to do is walk outside the door and look around and realize there's a lot of idiots out there. And I'm no Einstein, but I'm smarter than a lot of them.
Right.
And if I can figure out how to do something, then I'm pretty much good.
Right.
So that's basically it. So I don't know. Financially, I'm nowhere near in the financial bracket that I was.
Right.
But I've still got my house.
Are you
the
happy?
lights are on.
Are you happy?
Yes, I'm happier now than I've been.
Ding, 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 ding. I do.
I'm happier now.
Yes.
The only thing that's going to make me happier than I am right now is when this is finally done through the courts. I got to jump through all the hoops and go through all the rigmarole and spend the money on the attorneys and whatever.
Yes.
To get it where a judge finally says, hopefully, this man just wants to be a father for this child, and it's his right, and I'm going to grant it, and I'm going to give him his half, and so be it.
A lot of guys.
And when that happens, I get to stop, I hope. I mean, I know it's always going to be, I get to stop having to go, okay, yes, dear, because right now I'm hogtied. I don't have any options. She can do whatever she wants.
You would think she'd tire out by now.
No, she'll never tire out because it's a control thing. It's an absolute.
I get it.
It's an illness, and it's a control thing.
I got lots
as
of
long
friends
as
like that.
I think making it miserable for me is her way. I think she's still maybe getting her head wrapped around it now that it just ain't going to make any difference. But I think initially she thought, well, I can just make him so miserable that he'll just walk away.
No.
And then I can do whatever I want and do it the way I want, and I don't have to answer to him anymore. and I don't have to even consider his opinion anymore because he's no longer in the picture. And that was just about the biggest miscalculation she's ever made in her entire life.
Right.
Because I am not going anywhere.
Here's the beauty. Lily is getting smarter. I mean, older.
Yes.
She's getting older, and she can speak for herself.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
I mean, that was the biggest weight off my shoulders when Anna started getting old enough to where I didn't have to. I was making calendars and just going out of my way, and my ex would still not follow, pay attention, did what she wanted to do, and now you finally get, to where the kids can get a grasp and they go, okay, this is my day. I know I'm going to tell mom this is what I'm going to do. Not all guys get 50-50, and a lot of guys think that it's a very woman-sided world, and in some cases it is. But if you stick your neck out there, if you really want it and you go for it, I mean, I got a buddy of mine, he's the sweetest guy in the world, and he got shafted like there's no tomorrow. Shitty lawyer, paid money, but and then by the time he's trying to regain his strength, he's too broke to do it, and he's been putting up with this for years. And it sucks, but that's why I do this show, because we're the ones who give a shit about raising their kids, whether you're male or female. It's about, what? It didn't work between you and your ex, but the children do not have to suffer because of your, mistakes or just the stupidity of the whole situation. And I just found this whole new thing. It's like music. I stopped playing and I thought it was going to make me crazy, but I've actually, after going through all this hell, it's like I really love what I'm doing now. And it's and it's because people. I don't know how many friends you got that you could. Believe me, you must have cried on somebody's shoulder.
Oh, dude, I was the worst. I was the worst. I mean, a lot of guys just when that stuff goes down, they just internalize it. And I was the guy that would just talk to anybody about it. I guess that's how I coped.
Okay,
I got it out.
Okay,
because I was in a whirlwind of like, what the fuck for so long.
Yes, and
what happened?
And drinking.
Everything was great, and then all of a sudden it's all gone.
Yes.
I
walked away from everything but my daughter. And it took 17 years in L.A. to get what little I had, which was a lot. It's it's expensive out here. And now, and Pensacola, I love Pensacola. My friends, I have I got more people that know and love my daughter over there. When we go there, they fight over her to take her and go and hang out. And L.A., if it wasn't for her mother out here, I would have packed it up because my parents were getting older, and I wanted to take care of my parents and be there because I owe them everything. They put up with my shit, and I know it. And now, even more so since losing my mother a few weeks ago, it's like my father's alone. But I got a daughter here that has to be here. And as much as she loves Pensacola, we're back and forth, and it's all about money. And I'm getting there again. But it took me 7 years now. I've been 7 years. So we separated in 2009, divorced 2012, middle of the. But I see a 10-year recovery period before I finally figure this whole thing out to where I'm breathing again and back to being the guy that I used to like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either way,
and
you did good.
It's unfortunately when you're in a situation like. Everybody's situation is different,
but they're the same.
My situation is I'll say it this way. It wasn't me that decided that I didn't want to be married anymore and reached out to someone else.
What is she? If they asked her, what do you think she would say though? Because there's always he said, she said, and I get it. It was the same thing with me too. But I'm to blame for her not wanting to be married.
No. What was in my situation? And I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's going to be, it's all everybody's here today.
Whatever. It's all here.
I've always been respectful of her thing, but she's pretty much, she's basically come out of the closet anyway. She decided in all her dark depression that being a lesbian was really what she. She changed teams. That's why the divorce. That's why. She cheated on me a bunch of times with guys, and I kept going. Okay, what is going on? Why are we doing this? Why how can we make this better? What can I do? Da 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 da. And when she finally came home and told me she was in love with just one of those, replacement man kind of lesbians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
It was like, okay, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out.
And I get it.
But that's what she would say at some point if it came up. She would say, "Well, I realized I was lesbian.
Okay, is she still?
In my personal opinion, she's I guess, I don't know.
Okay,
I think so. I don't know.
Here's the thing,
I
Pat.
don't,
It doesn't.
she doesn't share that stuff with me, and I don't really care.
Right. I get it.
But in all honesty, she's not. I don't think she's. I don't think she's actually really lesbian. I think she was just looking for something to fill that hole.
Look,
in her soul.
I understand, but I'm looking for something to fill that. But no, as I got nothing against gays or anything like that. But it's like I'm on one team, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, she's. Yeah, she. I think I've told people before. I said she's not.
You cannot just
she's not lesbian.
Like be confused. Okay.
She's as lesbian as I am Chinese. Okay.
I thought you were.
She's not lesbian. She's mental.
Okay. Here's the thing.
But it's one of those and in the without getting into a big debate about all of that, I'm the same way. If you're gay, you're gay. Fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Yes.
But in this particular situation,
I know.
Trying
make
as
up your
much
mind.
as she could to run me out of the picture,
Right.
and I wouldn't go.
Right.
That was the thing that she finally she enlisted on. She joined that club,
Right.
and that finally was the straw that broke the camel's back. But once she joined that club, then she had to stick by it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've changed my whole thing now. Is she really? Maybe. Is she bisexual? Maybe. I don't know, and don't really care.
Okay.
She can do whatever she wants to do.
Right.
But if there's any positive to the whole thing, is for me, is thank God I don't have to ride that roller coaster anymore.
Okay.
I have to ride it in the sense of how I deal with stuff with Lily.
Right.
But I can do that. But living in the same house with 1 minute you're one person, the next minute you're another person, up and down, dark, happy, manic, down, whatever, that bipolar kind of. And it's never been diagnosed, but I'm convinced that's a big part of it.
Sure.
Not having to deal with that is beautiful.
Well,
when I get one day, in the morning, I get a text that's agreeable and amicable and friendly, and 3 hours later, I get one that's just chewing my head off. It's like and this is the best thing about it. I used to go, as a guy, as guys, we always want to go, oh, well, what is it? I mean, what do you want me to do? I guess, what is it? This can I do? What? We're just trying to make it better.
Not all
and
guys.
There's no better.
Not all guys.
Well, most guys. When you're
depends who you're dealing with.
It's like you're unhappy.
Yeah.
Well, what can we do to make you happy? Because this is like you're making everybody unhappy. So I told somebody, I said, if you are having a bad spell, whatever, and you're dragging around a cloud and it's raining on you. I know that there's reasons why people do it, but at some point, me, as someone who's not dragging around a cloud, I'm getting tired of getting wet.
But they don't know they're dragging that cloud around. That's like the norm for them. Do you understand that?
I know.
Okay.
Stop
it's called
dragging
mental.
that into our world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that part of it, I don't have to get rained on anymore when I don't want to. When I get those adversarial texts, I just don't. I don't even answer, and that's kind of the. I think she's finally kind of grasped the concept that when she comes after me and I don't answer,
yes,
it's like me saying, "Okay, I'm not talking to you till you get your head out of your ass."
You know what? That's better than because I would get so riled up and I would just start responding. And she wanted the reaction, and she would feed off of it. And you know what? You're a better man than me because I couldn't. I just wanted to rip her friggin' head off because it's like you break the rules. They slap you on the wrist in court, and I'm fighting to be a father, and I'm a good man, a good father to that child, and you're just reaming you through court. We're just going broke over this crap. But the bottom here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal, because we're gonna have to wrap this up, unfortunately, because it's been a great conversation. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter why anybody's divorced. I'm calling you because I figured out through watching you through Facebook that you undeniably adore that child, and that's what the child needs, because her head needs to be screwed on straight because it's a rough world getting ready to come up on us. And I'm in fear for my daughter on how she's going to survive it if she doesn't have it straight. And you're a stand-up guy, and I wanted to call you because, especially as it got deeper, because by the time I got to you, all these other change of events happened, and it's like, more power to you, ultimate respect. Besides you being a friggin' incredible musician, it's you're an incredible father, and I wanted to call to let the world know. And believe me, they're going to listen to this. I do get my closest friends don't listen to this show, but people listen to this show, and I just wanted to put it out there because I've had you on my mind. Called you, who knows, or text you, who knows how long ago, and just could not sit down long enough to get it done. And today we are doing it.
I'm glad we were finally able to do it, and I do sincerely appreciate the kind words and the sentiment. I really do. You're absolutely right. And anybody who's in the same situation is listening to this show and has the same thing, the same kind of problems that we're all dealing with. There is no substitute, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just going to keep doing it. And I know I'm not wrong. There is no substitute for doing everything you can do and saying every chance you get, telling your child how much you love them and how proud you are of them,
absolutely,
and how much you are there for them, because they know when they no matter what they go out and face in the world, as ugly as it gets, they know they can come back to that safe haven.
Right.
And I have to be that safe haven.
That rock.
I'm not saying her mom's not a safe haven as well.
No.
But it depends on the phase of the moon.
I know. Even though she's crazy, I'm sure there's a part of her that, no matter what, that's her mother.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
I'm her dad, and I'm a different person, and I'm going to be solid and there for her, period. Nothing is going to get in the way of that. Nobody's going to stop it. I'm going to keep doing it. Even if I get screwed in the end and I still don't get any better than what I've got, I'm still going to be there for her because she needs that.
Balance.
I've had my fun. I did my stuff. I've lived my life, and I'm not in any hurry to check out.
Yeah, you got plenty of life left. Don't cut yourself short. But
I got life left, but you know what? I'm good with it. I had fun. I'm looking at it right now. I've got a day job.
Yeah.
I haven't had a day job in 30 years.
How is male prostitution? Is that you making money?
Surprisingly, yeah. Matter of fact, I've got a couple of clients coming over here in a minute.
Hey.
No, but yeah, I've got a day job, and I don't. At first, I thought, God, am I going to hate this?
Oh, dude.
But I like it. I don't mind
really?
it. I really don't. I mean,
not me.
Because after a while, the music thing, you're doing the same stuff on the same bus with the same people.
I know.
It gets old, and now I get to go. I get up every morning, and I go in and I do whatever I got to do. Luckily, it's the kind of job that changes every day, so it's a different kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm not just making rubber stamps, but at the end of the day, I shut it all off. And I go home to my house.
Right.
And I'll sleep in my bed.
Right.
And I don't have to climb on a bus with the same 10 guys and live all summer long, stepping over everybody's crap, and listening to the same people bitch about the same problems and see the same stupid all day long.
But people in their mind would kill to do that. And, you're just like, the guy who filled your shoes. I mean, that was a big, giant step for him, probably.
I know there's people who would kill to do it, but the grass is always greener.
No, I know, and that's why I have no regrets. But again, we and this is what you caught me in, and maybe this was meant to be the timing, and I didn't catch you earlier because another phase in your life, and maybe we'll talk down the road. I hope eventually you do start checking this out because we're growing, and next year is going to be a big year. I got psychiatrists and social workers and all these kind of people because again. I ended up not knowing what the hell I was going to do, and after going through all this hell, it finally said, you know what? People need somebody to talk to. I was lucky. I had a couple of solid people that would let me just cry and didn't say
I was lucky too. I've got some.
Not
that
everybody has that, but not everybody has that. And the family, they're going, oh God, if I hear him again, I'm going to friggin' kill him. And you need that.
I know.
You need the support system. So I'm the support system now. And Jim.
Yeah.
And if Jim, and it's crazy because like today, it wasn't working, and we have our indifferences and our scheduling problems, and whatever happens with the show, it's like I just said, I will not stop making this show. And we're doing all these crazy things. Like I'm an open book. I'm crying in front of you about Angry Garage and just bitching about stuff. But we bitch about stuff because everybody can friggin' relate. And when I saw you, I said, there's a stand-up dad right there because you're posting just like I do. And so I had to have you. And it's funny how the world just kind of comes full circle. And and had it not been for Trey, this would never have come up to point. And I thank God for him because again, he was my guy. He could make my drums sound like thunder. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked with him for a long time, and he was a great guy, and he was a good friend. And
Trey would bitch a lot too. It's like, oh, screw that shit. But bottom line is it was what it was, and I'm thankful for every day I had because those really were the good old days. Everything gets.
But you know what? This may have something to do for me. I was talking to a girl that I've been seeing recently, and we were talking about it, and she's kind of going through a similar little thing, personal stuff, nothing major, but. I told her, and I think the cancer thing probably had a big part in me sort of developing this philosophy. But we spend an inordinate amount of time as humans. It's human nature looking backwards. We go, oh, God, should I have left that job? Nah, I'm done. Oh, should I end when I digged when I jagged? I should have, things would be so different if I had done this differently. And da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's gone. Okay. If you stepped in shit, it smells bad. You got it on the carpet. It's terrible. Learn from it and watch for the brown piles. Try not to step in anymore.
And clean it.
Learn from it. But you can't go back and make it go away.
No.
It's done.
Right.
What you have right now is this instant and forward.
Right.
That's all you got. That's all you can do anything about because that last instant right there where I said that's gone. It's gone.
It's gone.
Forever gone. You can't take it back. So I look at everything that way. Like, I've been dealt a shitty hand and I'm having to go through a bunch of crap and spend a bunch of money and whatever, but I'm alive.
Yep.
I have a beautiful daughter who I love more than anything on this earth.
Yep.
I'm able. I'm functional. I'm reasonably smart. I've got a job. I'll make it.
Yep.
Somehow I'll make it.
Yep.
And I'm not worried about it. I don't lay in bed and I go, God, oh my God, I left this good money and this, oh God, what am I doing? I don't care.
Well.
As long as I got a roof and food and my daughter's taken care of, I'm good.
I know.
I'm good.
But a lot of people, and you know it, and I don't know because of your, health issues and stuff like that, a lot of people just start finding the bottle. And start drinking.
Yeah.
I get it. It changed me. It changed me, and it's hard to go back to who I was, and I want to be, and I'm getting there. But it changed me because it ruined you. Your life is falling apart, and you're going down in flames.
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you. When you mentioned that, it made me think of a funny little of a thing. At the point that we divorced, the ex drank fairly heavily. And I don't know if she still does.
Are you sure we're not married to the same girl?
Yeah, but as in a very codependent way.
Yes,
I was drinking along with her because that was the only way that I could relate to her. And even if we were drunk, we weren't getting anywhere because we just fight.
Yes.
But when this all happened and it all went south, the last thing in the world that I wanted to do was climb in a bottle.
Yeah.
It was like, it all happened, and I went, okay, I'm done with that. And I teetotaled. I didn't drink a drop for several years. And I still don't drink. I mean,
you're a better man than me.
I've got beer in the fridge, and it'll probably be, the same six-pack will be in here in a month.
Well,
I just don't drink anymore. It's just not my thing.
I'm looking for that day.
So,
hadn't gotten there yet. I'm serious. I'm sipping on a glass of wine right now as we speak because it just has become a part. I just want to take the edge off.
See,
No,
I don't. It's funny, but I don't. That's not where I go.
I get it.
I just can't.
But everybody's
Yeah.
different, and I've managed to not destroy myself, but I've done damage. It has damaged me. It has turned. She found a button in me that I never even friggin' knew I had, and I can't wait to bury it again. Period.
Yeah. Well, you will.
Oh, we're
You
good.
will.
No, we're good. We're good. I mean, but I tell the truth. I'm not going to lie to everybody. I'm Mr. Friggin' Perfect. I'm not. But I did have a pretty decent life where I was happy. Even if I wasn't rich, I was happy with who I was and what I was doing. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, unfortunately, we are out of time. I want to thank you for coming on finally. And like, I called you last minute and it was like, holy moly. And I was taking a shot. I said, I want to make this happen. Sometimes I get this bug up my ass, and I go, you know what? I've screwed around too much, but you've done a phenomenal job. I want to congratulate you on being the dad that kids would kill for. That unfortunately in this world, and moms, it's a screwed up world out there. But you're doing the right thing, and I just wanted to let you know personally because we have not had a phone conversation. Period. In when's the last time I saw you? 2000.
Yeah, it's been several years.
2000, 2001, something like that. And the bottom line was, and we left it at that with a couple of texts and IMs back and forth. But we see what we're doing. That's the thing. With Facebook, it's just a phenomenal source of. That's how I keep up with so many people. But you're doing an amazing job, and I just wanted to tell you, and I want to tell the world, which they're going to hear it, that you're doing an amazing job, and I wanted to use you as an example, another example. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do so long as you're happy.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it, and to me, I guess if there's anything I'm in any way, shape, or form considering all of that as I go through every day that comes up, is at some point, based on what you just said, I envision that there's going to be a payoff. I may not even be alive for this payoff.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Your daughter.
The payoff is going to be when she reaches a point where she realizes who she is and what she's been through and all the stuff that she's gone through, good and bad, whatever, and she looks back and she goes, I'm really, really glad that my dad was so there for me.
Let me ask you a question.
That will be the ultimate revenge for me beyond anything else.
It ain't even revenge. You're doing it because you want to do it. You're not doing it just to show her.
No. Yeah, I don't. I guess that was the wrong word to use.
Okay.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Because
that will be the ultimate satisfaction for me is to know that Lily is grateful for the fact that I was there.
You raised her with a father.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because see, some people fight in court and they fight over custody, and it's all about the fight. And then when they finally get the win or they get the time, they don't do shit with them. But the thing is, when you're with your daughter, how many times a day do you tell her you love her?
Oh my God!
Okay, there you go. I'm like friggin' diarrhea of the mouth.
Like.
Yes,
I'm that way with anyone. If I love you, I mean, girlfriends, wives, whatever.
But you look in that daughter. My daughter looks at me like, okay, thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, okay. I get that. Like the rolling eyes. I love you too. But there'll be a point where
they know
that'll be something like it. She'll remember that.
Oh, she will.
She'll be 30 years old and she'll go. I miss the fact that my dad used to tell me he loved me 17 times a day. Every 20 minutes.
I used to feel that abusing that word just made it too normal until I had her, and then I can't help it. I just freaking can't help it.
No, I do it constantly. Okay. Constantly. I'll call her from the back of the house.
Yeah.
And she'll come out and I'll go, hey, I just want to tell you I love you. And she'll be like, okay, I love you too, Dad.
Is that what you wanted? Yeah.
And now when she's at an age where I can joke with her and go, it's not going to stop. This is not going to stop. You're going to get this every day, all the time. Right. Yeah, I know. And then off she goes and does her thing. There'll be a point where she appreciates it.
One more thing, because, again, I've gone way over time, but well worth it. If there's anything you can tell me within 1 minute that is like most important to you, what's it going to be? That's what I thought.
Never forget no matter how bad it gets, that you're going to be okay, and that she's going to be okay,
or he,
and that
yeah.
doing what you're doing to help her be okay is the right thing to do. Just don't stop. Just keep doing it. Because somewhere later in her life, she's going to wake up one day and go, God, I was lucky.
No daddy issues.
Yep. I don't want her. She's going to have enough. She's got enough hurdles to jump. I'm not giving her any other ones.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay.
So.
Fair enough. You just hit everybody right smack in the nuts with that statement. I mean, it's the truth. It's the friggin' truth. It's like, if you love your child, you're going to do it. Otherwise, you're the douchebag parent, and this is not the show for you.
Yeah.
And you never heard, and you're going to hate me. And haters are fine too, because I believe that I can, one at a time. Maybe it just takes time to see the light. Pat McDonald.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for coming on. This just changed. I'm so glad I finally got to talk to you. This just increases the whole deal that much more. I hope that as we grow, you're going to be even more substantial a part of this whole deal. And again, phenomenal drummer, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't ever had the chance to see Pat play, I'm sure there's many videos out there, more than mine, that you can check him out, because I wouldn't bullshit you. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass. You freaking, that day when I saw you, I was my mouth. If you could have heard me while you were playing, you would. It's like, oh man, he's a lot shittier than I thought. Because I was just going, holy crap. Because a lot of artists, they don't want you to explode, but he let you go, and God bless you. You're good.
Yeah. It was a good gig for that. He let us.
I would have never thought.
Let us play, and he liked it.
I would have never thought. It's Charlie Daniels, and I've been telling a lot of people. I said, I'm getting ready to get this guy. You ever heard of Charlie Daniels? And they go, no, and because I'm in California, and the times have changed. But if you heard the songs, they go, oh yeah. But either way, whatever. Whatever. Look it up, people. Okay, because he's been with them 17 years, more than I thought. The time just flies. I'm still stuck in the 90s or 2000s. All right, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Love you to death.
All right, buddy.
Thank you so much for spending the time with me and just stopping, and because I called you pretty friggin' last minute, and I deeply appreciate that. And we'll talk down the road. All right.
No worries at all. Thanks for letting me be a part of it, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat McDonald on the Jim and Peter Show, and you heard it here, and that's what a father should be, as I always say. See you later, Pat.
All right, take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, you just heard it. Again, a guy, it's like looking in the mirror, and I knew it, and I wanted to hear it from another guy who hung in there in the music business a lot longer than I did. Because he just had a good gig. He had a good solid gig, and I had no idea. I went through, obviously now after listening to him and talking to him, I went through my stuff 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I went through my stuff in 3 or 4 years sooner than he did. I had no idea. Just had no idea. But there it is, yet another example about balance and being a father, whether it's a boy or a girl, child, whoever you have. It's about being a good father or a good mother, and that's it. I am so glad I got to sit here and do this show tonight, even though I'm by myself, because sometimes we have a little more laughs, as we're sitting here making fun of each other. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because it's not about us. It's about you guys. Let me know what you think. Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. But share the shows weekly. This man just poured his heart out to you guys to tell you he's no different than anybody else. Rock star, no star, doesn't matter. There's a little girl out there that he wanted to be a daddy to. My name is Peter G. You've been listening to the Jim and Peter Show. I love you guys. I'll never stop doing this. It's growing. We're getting bigger and bigger. Make it happen, people. Let me know what you think. I love you guys. Peace out.